Battles have long been a part of the history of the world. Israel versus Philistine, the Greek citizens who faced off the Persians in the Battle of Marathon, Tyson versus Holyfield, Man United versus Chelsea, Nigerian Jollof versus Ghanaian Jollof. And now it's the turn of the Samsung Galaxy S8 versus the iPhone 7 Plus. Hi guys, my name is Henreeneo, your favorite Nigerian tech review guy, and this is my comparison video. Let's get started. On the hardware front, both devices sport similar candy bar designs, with the major difference being the screen real estate on both devices. On the iPhone 7 Plus, you have a 5.5-inch Super LCD screen, and on the Samsung Galaxy S8, you have a 5.8-inch Super AMOLED display. Now, looking at the form factor of both of them, the iPhone 7 Plus is both wider and taller than the S8. While the S8 packs some much more screen real estate in a smaller form factor. I think this is one of the things that would draw a lot of people to buying the S8. This is not to say that the iPhone 7 Plus is an ugly looking device. It's a really cool looking device, but maybe just not as cool as you have it with the Samsung Galaxy S8. If you're with both these devices outside, maybe in the park or in the mall, heads will turn looking at your Samsung Galaxy S8 than when you hold out an iPhone 7 Plus. I mean, that design has been on for about 3 years now. You've got 3 GB of RAM on the iPhone 7 Plus, and you've got 4 GB of RAM on the Samsung Galaxy S8. The iPhone 7 Plus comes in 32, 128, or 256 GB options, while the Samsung Galaxy S8 comes in 64 GB option. Though in Korea and China you can get the 128 GB options that also come with 6 GB of RAM. Now, charging on the iPhone 7 Plus takes place via a Lightning port, but on the S8 you have a USB Type-C port. On the iPhone 7, the Lightning port also serves as your port for your headphones. There is no longer a 3.5mm headphone jack. But on the S8, you have the 3.5mm jack, you have the USB Type-C, and you also have a speaker grill on the bottom of the phone. I don't think the Nigerian market is ready not to have a 3.5mm headphone jack yet, because we don't have the necessary accessories to deal with USB Type-C headphones. It's going to take a while before we transition into that phase. Let's move on. Both phones offer premium designs, with the iPhone offering an all-metal unibody design and the Galaxy offering a glass and metal unibody design as well. Both offer waterproofing to an extent. The iPhone is slimmer and heavier and wider than what you have on the Galaxy S8. The bezels on the iPhone are quite large compared to what you have on the Galaxy S8. The chin on the top and the bottom of the iPhone, they're quite large. Meanwhile, the S8 has an infinity display, meaning you almost have no bezels. You have a screen, an edge-to-edge screen on the device. The iPhone is using a safe, traditional design. They didn't do anything adventurous. They were just trying to build a sturdy and well fit the phone. But the Galaxy S8 was trying to be adventurous and bring in something that was a little bit futuristic, and they kind of achieved that, and it's impressive to behold in person. Now, on the software front, both devices are quite different. The Galaxy S8 runs on Android, while the iPhone runs on Apple's iOS. These are two very different operating systems, yet they are similar in the way they handle some functionalities. For instance, these devices try to use different modes in performing different functions. For instance, on the Galaxy S8, it uses on-screen buttons. It has no hardware buttons anymore. So everything you're going to do with this phone is going to be on screen. You have the home button. There's a physical home button, but it's built underneath the screen where you have this home button here. So if you click really hard, there's a vibration that you can feel when the phone is on. Meanwhile, the Apple iPhone 7 Plus has a physical, not actually a button, more like a cut in the glass that has a taptic engine underneath it. These softwares they're quite similar. Handle the same way you have software grades, although the iPhone has been like this for the past 10 years and it's becoming a bit boring. People are getting tired of it. You're unable to theme your phone the way you'd like to theme it. Meanwhile, on the Samsung Galaxy S8, which is running Android, you can theme your phone the way you like it. To view recent apps, you just click this on the Android space, and on the Apple space you double click on the home button, and you can swipe to view all your open apps. Well, you can swipe to view all your open apps on the Android space, and also click home to get back to your home page. The iPhone 7 Plus animations are quite different from what you have on Android. So for instance, if we wanted to view the settings app on both phones, still there's 1, 2, 3, go. You can see they're a bit similar, but I think the animation on the iPhone 7 Plus is much more fluid than what you have on Android. Samsung has actually cleaned up their software. The settings panel is now very clean and looks really neat compared to what you have on the iPhone 7 Plus. Let's go back home. In terms of speed, due to the fact that Apple's chip is proprietary, most times their apps tend to work much better on the iPhone than what you have on the Samsung Galaxy S8. Games open much faster on the iPhone, and apps generally tend to perform much better on the iPhone, and I think this is because they have a dedicated language that you have to write your programs in, and everything just is coherent. Android, on the other hand, is open source, so each original equipment manufacturer has to build their own custom scheme over the Android base, and that to an extent brings down the speed or the fluidity to which this OS can perform. But mind you, this OS, Android has come a long way and is really very good now. Notification center on Android is years ahead of what you have on iOS. iOS is simply, I mean, this is boring stuff. It's really boring stuff. But what you have on Android is makes too much sense. iOS also has this little notification panel down here where you can toggle your Wi-Fi, your airplane mode, Bluetooth, and sleep mode, and you can also adjust the screen brightness using the slider. Meanwhile, it's at the top for the Android space. You can adjust your screen brightness here. You have all your toggles in there. Similar softwares, but different in their own ways. So this will come down to what you like as an individual. Now for cameras, the iPhone 7 Plus has a dual camera setup on the back of the phone with optical zoom, but the S8 has a wider aperture and just has a single camera at the back of the phone. The resolution of the front-facing camera on the S8 is much higher than what you find on the 7 Plus. But when it comes to smartphone cameras, the number of megapixels don't really count, or doesn't really translate to how good the results are going to be. So you have to bear that in mind when you're buying a brand new device with the camera as your top priority. A lot comes down to how the images are processed, and both these phones smash it out. Really, they really deliver a lot. They deliver excellent images, and the results are pretty much very good every time you take a picture. So both are a go. The Samsung Galaxy S8 has a very high expectation for pictures, and of course we expect them to meet those high expectations, being that this is a very new device. This is the flagship device for 2017, and we expect it to do very well. It has a 12 megapixel dual pixel sensor on the rear of the device with an f1.7 aperture. It's got face detection, autofocus, optical image stabilization, and offers up to 8 times digital zoom. On the front, it's got a 8 megapixel sensor with an f1.7 aperture, which makes good for low light photography, along with autofocus and fixed focus and iris scanning capabilities. The iPhone 7 Plus has already proved time and time again that it can deliver in terms of photography. It features two 12 megapixel camera sensors at the back of the device. One is a wide angle camera with a f1.8 aperture, and the other is a telephoto lens with an aperture of f2.8. It also offers optical image stabilization and can provide 2 times optical zoom when you're taking pictures. So both these phones, the pictures will determine, or your preference to how you like your pictures to look will determine which you feel is the best. I prefer the pictures on the Galaxy S8 because for me they're much sharper, they're much vibrant, and they look much better. So, which of these devices should you choose? This will ultimately come down to your preference of the platform and what they have on them. If you prefer the way the display looks and the design and the openness of the Android operating system, then you should go for the Samsung Galaxy S8. But if you prefer the simple and, should I say, archaic design of the iPhone, which has been tried and tested and has been the same all through the years, then well, you can go for the iPhone. If you also love Apple's ecosystem, and if you love the way the apps work in Apple's ecosystem, you can go for the iPhone. They both offer great camera, great design, great software, great hardware. They're both very, very, very capable devices, and the choice will ultimately be yours. So this has been my comparison between the Samsung Galaxy S8 and the iPhone 7 Plus. Which you get is down to you, and I wouldn't tell you not to get any one. It's down to your pocket, it's down to your preference of the ecosystem, it's down to your preference of which platform you like. If you like the open source platform, which is Android, or if you like the closed platform, which is iOS, then you can choose what you go for. For me, I prefer the Android platform because it allows me to do much more than I could ever do on the iPhone 7 Plus. So this has been your favorite Nigerian tech review guy, Henreeneo. Thanks for watching, and please click on the subscribe button down there. It's the red button, and after clicking on the subscribe button, you can also click on the little bell icon that appears when you click on the subscribe button. It will help me grow. I would love to hear your comments. I would love to hear from you so that I can improve my videos, make them much better. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.